Shalom my friends, and welcome to me kvetching, where I'll be talking about things I like, things I don't like, and possible ways of improving upon them. Tonight, what I'm going to be kvetching about is Chivalry Medieval Warfare by Torn Banner Studios. Chivalry, which is what I will now call it, is a full-on adaptation of Age of Chivalry for a modification for Half-Life. Now, I love the original Age of Chivalry, a game that I was never really good at. Do you see a pattern here? But now that it's come out completely as a standalone game, I decided to give it a go and found myself enjoying it quite a bit. It is similar to War of the Roses, which is a third-person medieval combat game, while this is a first-person combat game. But you do have the ability to play it in third person if you so desire. The one thing I will say, War of the Roses allows you to put on some major customizations for how your guy looks. This, however, all you get is this helmet customization. Even that, it doesn't work. Or if it does work, it doesn't seem to work for me. I believe they said it. I believe it was only added for people who pre-ordered the game, which I did not do. But if there is any difference, I personally have not noticed it. So when it comes to armor customization, there is none. I do not like that in the least. What I do like is they have some major video customization going on here. I mean, this is an Unreal game, so it doesn't look amazing, but it does look great on my computer, I'll say that. Well, I'm talking about things that I like. This game only ships with 6 maps, but it does have 5 game modes. But don't let that excite you too much, for guys, because it does have 5 game modes, but it's divided up between the maps. Here, let me look at this one right here. You have Team Objective, Free-for-All, and Team Deathmatch. That's all this one allows. This one only allows Last Team Standing. Then we have another one that's only Team Objective. Here we have King of the Hill and Team Objective, just plain Team Deathmatch. And so there you have it. 6 maps, 5 game modes, but the game modes are divided amongst all the maps. I do not like that in the least, because I personally only really enjoy Team Objective because they are rather long. They are multifaceted, such as this one starts out with you killing the peasants, then you have to get a battering ram to a door, and then you have to kill the king, which is a lot more interesting than just kill guys or just capture a flag somewhere. But since all these other maps, some of them are actually rather interesting, like this arena and the ruins, but since there's only one game mode for them, I feel they're limiting a lot of what they have going for them. I really wish that they would change that quite a bit. I believe every map, honestly, should have multiple game modes to it, or allow every game mode. I mean, every map has something you could use for either a team deathmatch, which also counts as Last Team Standing, which could also last as King of the Hill. I don't know why they've limited it in such a way. I do not enjoy that in the least. But enough about that. Let me show you. I'm going to show you something that I like a lot about this game. I'm going to start a bot match just so I don't bother anyone while I talk here. I like the class system. Each class not only has a distinct look to them, so you know who they are at a glance, but they all have little traits associated with them as well. For example, the archer does, as you see here, does 50% more damage in the back. The man-at-arms can dodge. The vanguard has the ability to do a charging attack, which does an incredible amount of damage. So each class is distinct in that one way. And then they also have weapons. Obviously, they have weapons, but they have difference that differ from one another. For example, the archer obviously handles ranged weaponry, and unfortunately, this is also something I don't really like, because as you can see here, there isn't any weapon customization at all. All you have is this one single progressive level of unlocking weaponry. It starts at 25 kills, as you see here. You start with the crossbow, kill 25 guys, you unlock the next crossbow. Kill, I believe it's 72 guys. Let me go here. 71, 72 guys. And then you unlock 75, as you see here. I just need to look to the right. How hard would that be? You just look to the right, you have 75 kills, then you unlock the final tier. There's not enough of a difference between any of these weapons that I've noticed to ever make me want to switch out between them, honestly. I still kill guys in 2 or 3 hits with a bill hook, just like I do with the Bardiche, or Bardiche. I've never learned how to pronounce that correctly. So I don't like the weapon customization because there isn't any, and it's actually fairly limited. Let me jump into this match real quick. show you some other things, some things that I do like once it actually, spawns me in and I'm not stuck here. I do like the combat system. It's kind of simplistic compared to the 4-directional attack of War of the Roses. This has a simple three different types of attack, I should say. There is a left click, which is a simple horizontal, which can be comboed into 2 attacks. There's an overhead attack by rolling your mouse back, and a poke by rolling the mouse forward. Along with that, there is also a block, which you can only hold up for a very small amount of time by right-clicking. And the main point of the combat is, if you just keep swinging like a madman, you see that little yellow bar on the bottom. That is my stamina meter, which, once that runs out, I can no longer jump, I won't be able to run, I won't be able to block, and I'll be a sitting duck. So you have to not only keep track of how you attack so you just don't swing willy-nilly, you need to try and create openings for yourself by either pressing F and kicking them, which will knock them out of their block completely if they block far too much, especially if they have a shield, because that's the only thing that actually holds up, that you can constantly hold up and block attacks with. But also, you have to fake them out by actually feinting your attacks, because as you saw there, swing, swing. But if I start to swing, press Q, it will stop the attack, and then they'll hopefully block, which will let you get a quick attack in there. Now, one thing I will say, again, is I like the way this game actually looks. It is dark. Okay, well, this area isn't very dark, but it's gritty, it's bloody, and the combat is, while simplistic, is not only very fun, it's gory as hell. Because, for example, let's look at this poor guy who... who has an arrow stuck in his head, but he is covered in blood. That will happen as you start to fight enemies, and as you saw right there, you actually have the ability to dismember your opponents. You can cut off their arms, legs, and even cut off their head. Let's see if they'll let me do that with this guy here. Okay, no, I just cut off his arm. But let's see if I can desecrate his body a bit here. Well, there went his leg. Look, I can't... Oh, there's his head. Alright, let's see. Okay, never mind. But if you actually get decapitated, you will get a kill cam where your head will... where you see where your head will roll. That's actually funny as hell, in my opinion. But, well, I like the fact that the combat is gory, it's bloody. I do not like that the friendly fire is on, which actually makes a lot of the combat that you see a lot of team kills going on. I understand why. I just kind of wish there was some other way to, get around that. Let me see if I can get a quick charge in on this guy. Sorry. But yeah, so friendly fire is always on. The combat is bloody, and it's also bloody good fun. I like that. And so really, the game is on. The only thing that when it comes to combat that I do not like is the ranged weapons are not all that fun. Let me see if it'll let me... if it'll kill me real quick, and... No, I guess not. Okay, I'm gonna force myself to spawn, show you the ranged weaponry. That's honestly the only thing in this game, when it comes to combat, that I am not a huge fan of. I'll show you why once it lets me actually respawn here. Because if you heard the meaty slams and screams and blood and all that from just fighting normally, twang, 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 it does not sound satisfying in the least. And let's see if I can get a hit on this guy. I highly doubt I will. He's dodging me. But when you actually see that was actually a hit. Not a very satisfying thump to it. I don't really enjoy that. What I do enjoy is the voice acting that happens in this game. Let me just show you real quick.
The masons are finished! Come on! Yeah! For Agatha!
Oh, let's not let me do it anymore. Well, anyway, the voice acting is hilarious. It's obvious that they had a lot of fun when it came to doing voices for their characters. And the death girdles in this game are great as well. See if I... Aw, didn't give me the whole death girdle thing. That's kind of boring. But the voice acting is superb, hilarious, and it's obvious that they had a great time while actually performing it. I honestly, I wish more games would do that, just because it's quite amusing, especially in multiplayer matches. Everyone's running around, screaming their heads off, and it makes for some absolutely hilarious moments when everyone's just rushing at each other, screaming. But not one thing I will. While I'm on that, one thing I will say when I was talking about the game modes and the team objectives and all that, I don't really like the team objective modes in one way that a lot of them actually seem to be geared more towards the defending team. Now, I know that's sort of a biased opinion because, hey, if you're attacking, of course you're going to think the defending team is, has it good for them. But no, what I mean by that is a lot of the defending objectives, either the spawn point is so close that you could pretty much wipe out the entire enemy team, and they will be right back on that point when you take a couple of steps to get to the objective. I don't really like that. One of them in particular, this one, Stone's Hill, is horrible in it that the final objective is to kill the king, and that king is pretty much invincible. I've never played this map in all my 10 hours of playing this game. I've never been on this map as an attacking team or defending team and seen anyone kill the king. I figure they could do some balancing in that regard to make it a little better for everyone. What I feel they could also do, aside from opening the game modes up to every other map, would be to add a couple more, I don't know, just sort of more interesting objectives. Game modes. For example, I don't know, a Capture the Noble map, where each team has a noble, you have to capture it from the other team, bring it back to your base, and put them on a guillotine, and decapitate them, and that'll count as a point. That'd be a nice little change-up. Just something to that effect to even it up a little bit more, make it a little bit more interesting and bloody that everyone would be able to enjoy. I guess, let me see what else. I mean, I like the way it looks. I love the way it plays. I love the way it sounds. I just figure they need to not only balance some of the game modes a bit, they need to either add more weapons to the game or give them some sort of traits to change it up a bit, make things a bit more interesting to go around if you so desire. That way you have a reason to pick a different weapon rather than just whichever one you've unlocked. I guess the only last thing to say to finish it up is, see, the game is about $25. I've been spending, as I said earlier, 10 hours playing this game. They've gotten a lot of things right. Once they balance it out a bit more, add a couple more things, maybe add more game modes and maps, I'd hardly recommend it. But as it stands, I do see some problems on the horizon, and I'm not certain if I'm going to be able to get my whole $25 out of it, as I operate on the $1 per hour of entertainment, and 10 hours played, $25 spent, and I'm not certain how much longer I'm going to be going on. I mean, maybe I'll continue to unlock all the weapons, and then after that, if they don't have anything new, who knows? So I can't really say. So at the moment, I'll give it a cautionary recommendation. It is good fun, but I would recommend waiting for either more stuff or sale to go on before you pick this up. So that's going to be my opinions on Chivalry and Medieval Warfare. Thank you guys very much for watching. Shalom, and until next time.